Hi, and welcome back to another episode of SGTV. Today, we are joined by Beth Andrews, who is an industrial electrician. So, Beth's joining us to talk through what it means to be an industrial electrician and sort of the ins and outs of her job and what it entails. So, Beth, thank you for joining us today. I really like your sofa, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
So how have you been anyway? What's your so just give us a bit of a run through of how you started and how you got to where you are now as an industrial electrician.
Okay, so I started an apprenticeship when I just turned 17 at an industrial company and did 4 years there. Qualified. I've done my testing inspection since, and I'm looking to do my HNC next.
Okay, so you wanted to go into electric straight away then? You knew pretty early on that that's what you wanted to do?
No, not really. I left school and we went to do like an open day at the college.
Yeah.
To sort of like look around at different courses. And for some reason I wanted to look at the electrical block, I don't know why. And then the tutor had us all wire a plug. And I was like the quickest one to do it in front of all the boys. But then I decided to do travel and tourism. And during like the summer holiday break, my friend was like to me, I think you should do something different, like you're smarter than that sort of thing. So I rang the college and then I joined the electrical installation course, did a year of that, and then got an apprenticeship after that.
Fair play. That's quite a jump from going from, wiring a plug to doing travel and tourism and then thinking, you know what, I'll just go into electrics. That's quite a jump, isn't it?
Well, I wasn't even sure what the apprentice company was. I just did a year at college, but yeah, I'll get an apprenticeship. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was just like sockets and stuff out on site. Didn't realise it was industrial.
Yeah. So how did you find you got into the industrial side of things then, just purely through that company?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had no idea what I was signing up for.
Electrics. Sounds like a happy accident though. But I mean, do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy what you do?
Yeah, absolutely love doing industrial work.
Yeah. And have you had much experience sort of doing domestic or light commercial that you can gauge that comparison of what other electricians do compared to what you do?
Yeah, I've done domestic a few times and I really didn't get on with it.
How come?
It's not for me. I got a shock in a house. Basically, this electrician there was a flood of bulbs, so they disconnected the lights in the bathroom, and I had to go reconnect them. So I've turned bathroom lights off at the board. I'm trying to test it to see if it's dead, and they've put loads of tape around it. So I'm trying to undo the tape so I can test it, and it wasn't dead. It was live, and then it threw me.
Yeah, enough to give you a scare.
Yeah, I was like, all these years working industrial, never had a shock. Go to connect a bathroom light, and bam.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever got one as well.
So did you find though that you say from your experience on domestic, you've had to, and I know a lot of electricians could probably relate to this, you're going in after someone else's work, or it might even be the homeowner's work where it's a bit of a bodge. Do you find you get that sort of level of unprofessionalism in industrial that you're coming across, or is everything a bit more tighter?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, so if you're going into an industrial building and you're doing some rework from what might not have been touched for 5, 10, 15 years, are you finding you're having to correct anyone else's work, as a lot of domestic people would in their line of work?
Yeah, like some of the older installations are done really well, but then you do find like rough work out on site. But one of the things we do as a company is like maintenance. So we'll go around and like bring things up. So it's like 18th edition.
Obviously, the industrial electricians, any of those that are watching this, they're probably going to know the ins and outs of being an industrial electrician. But I'd imagine for some people who have had, maybe they've stuck with domestic or light commercial for the entirety of their career, they might not have any idea what an industrial electrician entails. It might be, it might seem completely alien. So could you give us a bit of a run through of, basically what an industrial electrician does, the type of wiring, the type of technology?
So it's quite a big question. I'll try to be brief on it. What's like the sort of things we work with, I suppose? Well, yeah, we wouldn't really work with twin and earth. It would be like armoured cable most of the time, or control cabling, so like small tri-rated cable. What else? I've never installed a downlight before.
Okay.
I would generally do like floodlights or fluorescent lighting, work with a lot of like motors and control panels, and then load cells and PLCs, control panels, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Was it a lot to learn though? I mean, compared to your basic sort of level of training.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn, and like still learning every day now. Like you
Yeah.
never know everything.
I think when you think about industrial work though, are the majority of industrial electricians employed? Because I know I'd say the majority of domestic installers I've spoke to are pretty much self-employed. But would you say for industrial you are employed? You're not just sort of your one-man band. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, I think most people are employed. Like we're a company of like contractors, so we are all employed at my company. I think what doesn't help is the sites we work on. I think they pay like quarterly, and I think if you were just self-employed doing it on your own, you might struggle to do that.
So they're paid out quarterly to the company, but you're still getting paid every week or every month.
Yeah, weekly.
Okay, so that helps then, doesn't it?
But yeah, I think you'd struggle trying to be self-employed, a one-man band working on the sites I work on.
Yeah, so I suppose you're only getting paid, once every 4 months, or maybe less than that, aren't you? What about health and safety? I mean, I've had so many discussions with people about health and safety on various sites. Some saying it's over the top, some saying there's not enough. There's obviously dangers to it. But how do you find the health and safety side of things with your industrial work?
Oh, they're like extreme with the health and safety.
Really?
Yeah. So much so you've got to wear like long sleeve high-vis orange, like even in the summer, in case there's a spillage of something, like nowhere near you.
Right.
Gloves, glasses, everything.
Yeah. Would you say it's a bit over the top or necessary for?
Yeah, like I was walking across the yard before and someone went on the tannoy, Bethany, can you put your gloves on, please? I'm walking.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. It's a tricky one, isn't it? I suppose they're trying to do like a one rule for all to keep everyone safe, but then at the same time, like you say, if you're just walking from A to B and the demanding glasses and gloves and things like that, it's it can get to people, can't it?
Yeah.
The sort of jobs you do, are you taking on, well, your company, are they taking on big contracts, or do you find you sort of going into one place just for a day here and there, or wherever you're going, you're there for weeks or months or even longer?
So I think they've got like a contract with a few of the big asphalt and concrete companies. So we would be like the electrical contractors covering like a number of sites, like all over really. Sometimes there'll be an odd one I haven't been to before, but mainly we've got our main sites we will just maintain.
Yeah. Are they sort of dotted about all around the country, or are you fairly local to where you work?
All over really. There's a few that are local, but most are like an hour's drive. The other week I was working in Birmingham, so that was a few hours away.
And has your company putting you up, or is it all just sort of early mornings, late nights?
Oh no, we stayed in a hotel when we was up there.
So it does involve a fair bit of travel then, sort of the industrial side of things.
Yeah, a lot of travel.
Yeah. Are there any projects or places that you've worked that sort of really stand out, ones that you've enjoyed, memorable ones?
Yeah, so I really enjoy project work, doing it from start to finish. I get given a set of drawings and the materials and then just go for it, doing all the install, running the cables and containment. There was a job when I was in my 4th year of my apprenticeship, and it was this, I don't know how to describe it. It was like for an addition on this asphalt plant. And it was quite a big thing, like a big hopper, a screw, all motors and pull wires around it. And it had to link up to the old plant through the PLC and that. And it was me like running the job sort of. So deciding where to put all the tray, wiring everything up, and then wiring up all the panel, connecting it like in the old panel all the wires and that, and then someone else did the PLC bit to connect it, and then there's all the commissioning, make sure everything run properly, the motor's running the right way around, which was fun.
I bet it's quite rewarding though when you take on a bigger job like that and you're sort of responsible for the whole thing. I bet it's quite rewarding.
Yeah, that was a good job to do.
Yeah. Does that sort of pay back into, you know, the company you work for? Are they recognizing that kind of achievement and giving you better work, giving you more responsibility, that kind of thing?
It was nice that they gave me that job to start with, because I was still an apprentice. So for me to be doing like a job that important, having that responsibility was good.
Yeah.
But I did leave the company I worked for when I qualified, and I've come back like 18 months later. So I'm back where I started now. But
okay, so what happened in between there then?
When I qualified, I don't know, I decided to try something else, and it just wasn't for me. Yeah. So I said I got a shock in a house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went to this company and I quit after 3 days.
Okay.
It was like an electrician in social housing.
Yeah.
So day one out on site, this lady said her pool cord wasn't working in her bathroom. So she'd taken the light bulb out and put it in a lamp. And I've gone in there and there was dog poo all over the bathroom floor. I was sort of thinking, what am I meant to work in here? And then I've just taken the light bulb out the lamp and I've put it in the light and I've done the pull cord and it was working. I was like, oh, look, it's working. So, well, it wasn't working. I was like, but it is now. I need to get out of there. It stank. And then, the next day I got the shock and then I'm not going back there.
No, I can't imagine having to work around Paul's dog in the bathroom as well. That's just
there was
weird.
Like laundry on the floor, so like it was touching all their clothes.
Nice. We should name and shame, get a picture of that person
somewhere in here.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with anyone you're gonna have awkward customers or funny bad customers, all sorts. But the kind of do you have much customer involvement with the place you're at now, sort of on an industrial scale, or is that more managers that are sort of dealing with them?
So we talk to the managers on site. So we'd get to site and sort of look at the job, like introduce ourselves to the managers, but we know them all already. And then we'd have to write out a risk assessment and method statement.
Yeah.
We have to do like handwritten ones, and then we'd get like the manager to sign that. So we do work a lot with the site staff and the customers.
Yeah. Can that be a learning curve in itself? Just sort of that, talking to people, managing their expectations and that kind of thing.
I generally get on with most of the managers, so I've not really had any issues.
Would you say that industrial is more technical compared to other sectors in the electrical industry? Or would you just say it's just different?
I'd say it's just different. Like if you trained to do it, then it's easy for you. But some things are hard, and same with domestic. I'm sure there's different bits that are complicated that I wouldn't be able to do. I don't know how people mark out the downlighters. How do you know where the cable is? Do you have to lift the floorboards up? What if they've got carpet? You have to chase walls? Or I'd rather put a tray on the wall and put a cable on the tray.
Yeah, that's one thing I do hear though from some of the commercial guys as well, and women saying that with the cable trays, it's so much easier because you're up in the racking or wherever. You can just lay it nice and neat. Everything's in there. You're not worrying about lifting floors or digging into asbestos ceilings and chasing out dusty walls and that kind of thing. So I suppose there is that neater element to it. So, and I know, well, I suppose a lot of electricians know other electricians that are very OCD about the cabling and tidiness, which is a good thing, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I like everything to look neat.
What would you say are the most fundamental differences that you're doing now compared to what you were learning at college? Because it's always a big change, I think, when you're learning on boards and paper and screens in college or however you've learned. So to what you're doing now, what would you say that the most fundamental differences are?
Most of it, to be honest. I think apprenticeships are mainly like electrical ones. They just sort of teach you about domestic stuff. So when I was going to college one day a week, none of what I was learning was really relevant to me, like out on site. I think we did like one lesson on motors and that was it. And we didn't do practical at college either, because you
Oh,
do the
really?
practical out on site as part of the apprenticeship.
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't do any kind of in lesson practical work at all.
No, not on the apprenticeship, because I think the idea is that you do your practical on site and then your
Right. Okay.
theory at college.
What would you say you prefer when it comes to your job? Are there any areas in particular that you enjoy the most? You know, whether it's containment, connecting, testing. What would you say, or you just enjoy doing all of it?
I enjoy quite a lot of stuff. I really like doing containment or making things out of uni strut.
Yeah.
That's fun. Or if there's like a breakdown on site and when you actually find the fault and you repair it, you get that sort of job satisfaction from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just fix that.
I think a lot of electricians tell me that the sort of productive side, the achievement side is really rewarding just for their own sort of, well-being, mental health, whatever it is, that it just gives you a bit of I've done that, I've achieved something. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if like a nice install as well and you do it and you're like, wow, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
What would you say the pros and cons are of being an industrial electrician? Let's start with the pros.
Pros. It's interesting, I think. Always like learning, like I said earlier. I just feel like where you've got to use your like brain a lot, so you don't go like numb up there.
Okay. Well, what about cons? Are there any things you dislike about a job? And you don't have to sort of, list off things about the company, because that's not right. But I mean, are there things about the job? I think everyone has bits they don't like, whether it's chasing out walls or what. So, are there any bits about the industrial sector that you're not a fan of?
There's a lot of stairs.
Well,
up the plants.
Okay, I thought you meant weird people just staring at you.
Oh no, that too. No, like if I'm doing a job right at the top of the plant, so you got to try and carry a tool bag up there and the materials up there, then you spend 10 minutes climbing stairs, kills you. Yeah. And then you forgot something in the fan, so you got to go all the way back down, come back up. That's long. And the places I work aren't very glamorous. They're quite dirty, like thick filler dust everywhere. So like bitumen, which is like the black stuff that binds the roads together, it's like that in liquid form. That gets everywhere. Smells, pigeons going under the switch room floor to run a cable in. There's rats down there.
Nice.
So yeah,
not as glamorous as you might think it could be then.
No.
Yeah, but still enjoyable.
Jobs, but then it wasn't poo in a bathroom, so.
Yeah, there is that. Do you want to go back to pros, things you do enjoy? I mean, you said a few. Are there any things you can think of that you enjoy, or things that you want to aspire to in that sector?
So I would like to go down to more of like the technical route, like electrical technician. That's why I want to do the HNC. To learn more about like the PLCs and that. I think that's quite interesting. But then I still enjoy doing the install as well.
Yeah. So always want to sort of have your hand in that.
Yeah, like that's what I like about the job. It's varied. You'd always be doing something different every day.
Yeah. Stops
like
you getting bored.
Install, maintenance, testing, testing e-stops, which is quite boring. A lot of stairs with that as well. But it's so varied. That's what I do enjoy about the job as well.
Okay. What would be your advice to any aspiring electricians?
To do industrial.
Yeah. Not biased at all.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Apprenticeships, they are rubbish money. Well, mine was. I was literally on the minimum wage. So I think when I started, I was on £3.30 an hour. It's hard. All your friends are going on holiday and you're at college, so you can't take the time off where it's cheap. You can't afford it when it's in the half term. But 4 years' time, it's worth it. So I'd say stick it out.
I'd have to back you up on that. I've seen the same sort of thing. I've seen people they've opted for a quick career in whatever it is. I don't want to upset people that are in certain careers, but they've opted for a quick job where they're earning they're earning good for that age. Where the friends who are doing apprenticeships and learning and that kind of thing, they're earning not much at all, and they're missing out on things. But in, like you say, 4 or 5 years, that they're going to be earning a lot more than that person. They're going to be doing a more interesting job that they can take almost anywhere in the world. And yeah, there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there? So let's go through industrial tool bag, like your tool bag tour. So are there any standout tools that you can't go without that might be different from your average, say, domestic installer?
Yeah, so a clamp meter is like an essential, and you're like clamping cables on the overload to see what the motor's pulling. And a 1/4-inch drive socket set, they're really handy for opening up motors and stuff. But the other stuff, I'm sure other electricians would need it. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what a domestic spark uses. Voltage tester, that's pretty normal. Oh, big crimpers.
Big crimpers.
But I wouldn't keep that in my tool bag. I'd keep that in the van.
Yeah, get someone else to carry that upstairs for you.
Yeah. Oh, battery grinder. That is an essential as well. Just like a little 4-inch, 5-inch grinder.
I think that brings us to the end of the episode. Beth, I want to thank you for coming on and talking to our audience about your sort of experience and your side of the story when it comes to industrial electricians. And I hope that's been useful for our audience. Please make sure, if you like this video, that you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below. There's tons more videos from all different people in the industry, from different sectors. So keep an eye out for them. Beth, thank you. It's been nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll see you next time.